Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, sa inyong naririto, sa ibang nasa bahay, at sa ibang nasa ibang bahagi ng mundo. Doon po sa aking channel at saka Facebook page, we have Pusong Katoliko. We have followers from Vietnam, we have followers from Indonesia, from the United States, from Europe, and they tune in. And right now, I know that our masses here, thank God, reach so many people beyond the shores of this country. Alam niyo po, ang napakaganda po ng ating mga pagbasa ngayong araw na ito kasi kalugtong po ito ng topic namin kahapon sa TikTok, social justice. Ewan ko kung maita-translate ito ni Juvie, mahirap ito i-translate sa sign language. Pero pagka po pinag-usapan natin ng social justice, yan po'y wala sa larangan ng lohika. Wala po yan sa larangan ng ordinaryong takbo ng pag-iisip ng tao. Tayo pong lahat gusto natin, ayaw natin ng malalamangan. Ayaw natin ng dinadaya tayo. And that is not wrong. Kung ikaw ay nadaya ng isang beses, sige na. Kung ikaw ay nadaya ng ikalawang beses, pwede pa, patawarin mo. Pero pag ikaw ay dinaya ng ikatlo, ikaw na ang may problema. Pero dito, sa kwento sa mga pagbasa natin, meron pong isang bagay na lumalampas ho sa takbo ng utak ng tao. God is not logical. And Isaiah said that in the first reading, God's ways are not man's ways. And you mothers know more than anybody else how you treat your children. You treat them all with love. Pero yung pong anak ninyong may sakit, yung anak ninyong may kapansanan, pinag-uukulan niyo po ng dagdag na pansin, dagdag na kalinga, dagdag na masarap na pagkain kung meron. Bakit ho? This is God's ways. And this is social justice. It goes beyond logic. You care for those who are not cared for by anybody. You notice all those who are left behind in society. Yung walang nag-aalaga. And I have so many stories. One, yung isang single mother na budget ang pera sapagkat may dalawang anak na 4 and 6 years old. Nagpunta sa grocery at nakalista lahat ng bibilhin. Alam niyo po yan, nakalista po ang inyong binibili. Hindi kayo yung impulse buyer na kung anong masintahan dadamputin. So matapos makuha yung mga dapat bilhin na nasa listahan, sabi ng dalawang batang 4 and 6 years old, Mami, gusto namin ng ice cream. Yung ice cream ay nasa tabi ng labasan ng grocery. Sabi ng nanay, anak, hindi natin kasama sa budget ang ice cream. Ang bibilhin lahat ng dapat natin ngayon ay kung ano ang higit natin kinakailangan. Yung essentials, yung talagang kinakailangan natin upang hindi tayo mamatay sa gutom. Yung pala ay narinig nung nagtitinda sa tabi na may-ari ng ice cream shop. Pag sakay nila sa tricycle, nabigla yung nanay sapagkat nandito na si kuya na may dalang dalawang ice cream cones. At ang sabi niya, narinig ko po ang inyong usapan, kaya yung ice cream ng dalawang bata, akin na po yan ngayon. This goes beyond logic. Bakit ho? Kayong lahat na may business, kayong lahat na may tindahan, meron kayong target, meron kayong quota, meron kayong gustong marating, at anong kasabihan natin, business is business. It's the most logical thing to do. But that man went beyond logic. And he did the right thing. And he gave the kids who were longing, siguro, who knows when was the last time they tasted ice cream. They gave the two children a reason to smile, a reason to be happy, a reason to be hopeful. Another, many years ago I was studying in Baltimore. Natatandaan niyo po siguro yung bundok na biglang nahulog sa Itogon, sa Isaogon yata yon sa Leyte. Dahil sa malakas na ulan na hindi tayo tinantanan ng ulan nung panahong yon. I think it was 2003. And napakarami pong namatay at isang eskwela po na puno ng mga batang nag-aaral ang natabunan. And for a few hours after the mountain got flattened and buried the children and the teachers under mud, there were still text messages being sent all over, asking for help. And days after that tragedy, there was a foreign newspaper guy, a journalist, who carried his team from somewhere in the West, in the United States or in Canada, I don't remember now. And they wanted to do a report about what was going on in Isaogon in Leyte. And there was a group who were delivering relief goods. And there was a long line of people. And the cameraman noticed a little girl of about 6 or 7 years old was in the last of the line because all the adults came in first. They ran faster and they bullied the little girl and all told her to be at the end of the line. When she reached the place where they were distributing food, the people had no more to give. And a fast-thinking woman said, "May natira pang isang saging dito." So ibinigay ng babae ang saging na bulok na. The little girl was focused on by the wise cameraman. And when she received that banana, that forlorn, half-rotten banana, the smile on the lips, on the face of that little girl was indescribable. You know what she did? She was hungry like everybody else. She ran, and the cameraman followed her, panned the camera where she was running, and she ran to her brother of 3 years old and gently opened the banana, the half-rotten banana, and gave half to her brother. This goes beyond logic. If you are hungry and you have nothing else, you would probably eat that banana and gobble it up all by your lonesome self, because that is the human thing to do. But social justice goes beyond logic. You take care of those who have nothing and who have less than you. And this is what she did. This is generosity that goes beyond human logic. You know, the one who wrote the portion of the first reading that we heard today, this is from beyond the 40th chapter of the prophet Isaiah. According to biblical scholars, the Isaiah from 40 onwards up to 55 was probably written by somebody else who was a follower of Isaiah, the proto-Isaiah, the first Isaiah. The first Isaiah up until chapter 40 talked about hope, talked about a vision of the future, talked about a vision that is attached to God's vision. But then the unthinkable happened because Israel was led into exile by a cruel empire called Babylon. And then Deutero-Isaiah began talking about concrete hope. He was talking about a people that will be delivered from slavery, from Babylon. And it happened. And this is the message of Deutero-Isaiah: seek the Lord while he may still be found. But then there is a second sentence that follows right next. Scoundrels should leave away their wicked deeds and remove their wicked thoughts. Kung tayo naiinggit sa kapitbahay natin kasi may maganda siyang SUV na bago, scoundrels, leave behind your wicked deeds and throw away those wicked thoughts. Kung tayo ay nagalit sapagkat nabigyan ng ayuda yung mas nangangailangan sa atin at akala natin ay tayo paborito ni Mayor, scoundrels, leave behind your wicked deeds. Kung tayo ay naiinggit sa Vietnam, because Vietnam is poised to become higher than Singapore if they go on this way. And we are only next to Bangladesh. Wala tayong may pagyayabang. Bakit? Sa dami ng corruption dito sa ating bayan, scoundrels, leave behind your wicked deeds. Why are we poor? It has nothing to do with material poverty. It's moral poverty, it's cultural poverty. Kasi nainggit tayo. You know what? The two biggest countries who are the biggest patrons of skin whitening products are Indonesia and the Philippines. Punta po kayo sa koridor. At pagbaba ninyo sa tampalan, anong makikita ninyo? Toneladang basura, anong laman yan? Skin whitening products. At Jollibee at mga plastic na tinapon ng Maynila. We are number 3 in terms of creating plastic trash. China, Indonesia, and us, and then Vietnam. Scoundrels, leave behind your wicked deeds. Seek the Lord while He may be found. Yes, I am still seeking the Lord. And you know what? I can tell you honestly, I find Him in the most unexpected places. People who give me help every time I ask and do fundraising to help the victims of Yolanda, Taal, and the typhoons, and the so many typhoons that passed by us. Who were those whom I admire most? It is not those who got the money from elsewhere. It is those who got the money from their pockets that should have gone to their children, that should have gone to their leisure time. But they know that they see people who need more than they do. Goes beyond logic. This is social justice. It's not commutative justice. Palitan yan eh. Bilihan. Palitan in Bisaya is to buy. In Tagalog is to exchange. Commutative justice is the justice of exchange. Sabi mo, magtatrabaho ka ng 8 oras, then I pay you this much. Anong inaangal mo? That is commutative justice. And then distributive justice, this is the justice of those who are in power, who distributes the wealth of the Respublika, the Republic, our common concern. But then, what do you know? Nangutang ng bilyon-bilyong piso. Kanino napunta ang mga ayuda? Kanino napunta yung pera ng DOH? Lahat ng namatay naging COVID patients. Kahit heart attack naging COVID. Scoundrels, let us leave behind our wicked deeds. The beautiful thing is that God cares. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him, but you've got to open your eyes and see God while He may still be found, and He can be found in the generosity of people who don't need to prove anything. They give until it hurts. That is why I love to tell the story of Saint Mother Teresa. Every morning she would go around Calcutta begging for bread. And one fine morning she went to a bakery and said, "Could you please give some bread for my poor children?" And the baker spat at her, dinuraan sa mukha si Saint Mother Teresa. Nagalit ba si Mother Teresa? No. Ang sabi niya, "Thank you for that. Now the bread for the poor." And she got the bread. She sought the Lord while she may still be found, and she found God in the most unexpected places. If you are generous, then you're never far from God. leave behind your wicked deeds and your wicked thoughts. And then we won't be scoundrels.